By 2023, every major government in the world will be ready to start confiscating your crypto, my crypto, their crypto, all of the crypto. Now, in this video, I'm going to break down exactly what I'm doing about this and what you could do to stop this, because it's not a matter of if it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's a matter of how it's going to happen and who it's going to happen to. A lot of stuff has been happening in the world, most notably the sanctions. You can see here the Russian sanctions that are not working at all. We've given the old college try, and it's not working at all. Now, if you know anything about economics, you know that it actually is working, and the fact that the ruble has bounced back is artificial. It is now being backed and pegged to gold, which was a very big 3D chess move by Putin, but we'll talk about that here in a second. But the fact is, the governments worldwide, US, Australia, Europe, all of Europe for sure. In fact, Europe might actually happen in 2022, but most of the world it's going to happen in 2023. So in this video, in Operation Crypto Confiscation, we're going to be talking about what you can do and what I'm doing to circumvent this now, to prepare for this now, before it's too late. So let's take stock of the world, shall we? We have a war with Russia and Ukraine. EU, United Nations, kind of on the outside. We're doing things like voting Russia off the old humanitarian board of United Nations, the committee, and wow, that'll put the fear of everything into them. And we're sanctioning them hard. In fact, we really, Russia does what Russia does. And I'm not a big Vladimir Putin fan, but oh my gosh, if he's not playing 3D chess when the rest of the EU is basically playing checkers, missing half the pieces. Okay? This is pathetic. What did they do? Did they cut off the oil and gas industry to starve out their billion-dollar-a-day industry when Russia is trading gold on a global scale and say we're no longer going to take the dollar or other currencies, we're going to peg the ruble to gold, and then we're going to trade that for our core commodity? Did they really starve that out? No. What they did was they put sanctions on his daughters. Oh, wow. So now we're going after women and children. This is an embarrassment to humanity. Okay? You could say, well, maybe he put some of his wealth with his daughters. You're going after his daughters, dude. That's embarrassing at this point for the United States. Eitherwise, do it or don't. But if you want to do anything to Russia, you need to cut off the oil and gas industry, period. That's the only way to hurt them. Okay, because they've proven that they will starve out their citizens. What have we done to Russia? Oh no, we've taken away your McDonald's and your Coca-Cola and your Pepsi. We've taken away your Starbucks, and we've taken away your cheap, Nike brands, and we've taken your terrible American television. Okay, so what you're saying is we're making Russians have much more physical and mental health. Russians are going to look like this guy from Rocky. Remember when Dolph Lundgren played this guy, Rocky, this Russian super boxer? But that's good. We took away our garbage American brands. Now, do I agree with what Putin's doing? No. Now, what's step two? Well, when we get to the crypto side, Russia's the third biggest Bitcoin miner. Now, we've seen the horrible people at BlackRock say they want to merge all crypto together, and then basically, so when companies merge and you end up getting the valuation goes together. So if you're a stockholder, so right now, for example, you've got Discovery, AT&T, and you've got Warner Brothers doing a merger. Now, the stockholders aren't SOL. It actually adds value to the stockholders, right? Because of the merger, this giant merger. Well, if we take all the cryptos and merge them like BlackRock wants and then spit out FedCoin, a centralized one world currency like BlackRock wants, that of course they control, of course the governments have full control, God mode power of all of it. Well, that's what they want to do. Now, thankfully, they don't fully understand crypto and how it works, but you got people like Jamie Dimon trying to suppress crypto saying it's worthless, it's a Ponzi, it's a scam. You've got people like this old windbag, this racist piece of crap, Elizabeth Warren, who's not Cherokee. I am, but she's just a racist. But you've got Elizabeth Warren and some of these other people who pander and lie all the time, who want to end crypto. And she came out the other day and said it would be good for humanity to end crypto because of the harm that crypto is doing through the energy sector to the environment. Meanwhile, they're flying around in private jets, not a care in the world, but your crypto is hurting the fragile climate. Okay, yeah, right. And the reality is what they're trying to do is consolidate everything. So when you've got countries like Russia who are pegging to the dollar, which I'm going to do a really detailed what the next world reserve currency is going to be really soon, a video I've been working on and I'm really excited about because I'm really going to break this step by step. And I think it's important for people to understand what's happening so you can get ahead of it. But the reality is with right now with crypto, whether you're using basically any coin that's not a privacy coin. So obviously your best bet is to start putting some of your crypto into things like Monero, things like the Pirate Chain, and other privacy coins. That's going to be vital. Not all of it, because they're going to really make it hard for some of those coins to operate and to function. I did this video the other day on how to travel anonymously, how to get hotels and flights. I talked about in this video, and also how to buy things from your favorite brands with Monero. This video right here. But the problem is they're going to try to starve out Monero and some of these other privacy coins. They're going to try to go after them. They're going to try to put fear in them. They're going to try to make them illegal, et cetera, et cetera. Now, when you look at your crypto, you have these exchanges. So crypto is supposed to be decentralized peer-to-peer. It was supposed to be you to me to you. Peer-to-peer, decentralized. I mean, I do transactions in crypto almost every day. I've got clients at PrivacyX. You can check out the first link down below if you want to become a ghost. And some people go through, traditional cards, and some people go through crypto. Either way works fine. But of course, crypto can be completely anonymous, peer-to-peer. It's how it's supposed to be. Well, these centralized exchanges like Coinbase and Crypto.com and even Binance, which has really gone downhill lately, unfortunately, have really started to enter the mix so they can start to control and catalog everything and make it a digital tracking device. Crypto is not shaping up to be what it was supposed to be, unfortunately, for a lot of people. And the masses are getting in and utilizing things like Bitcoin. Ask this guy, Dread Pirate Roberts, how private Bitcoin is as he sits in a prison cell the rest of his life. Now, I'm not talking about the moral dilemma. Should he or should he not be in prison? I don't care. I'm not the judge or the jury or anything like that. But I'm saying he thought because of Tor and because of Bitcoin, he was set, and he's rotting in prison for the rest of his life, okay? So, and again, I don't agree with drugs. I don't agree with a lot of the things the guy did, but I want you to understand what privacy is and or what privacy isn't. Edward Snowden knows. He talked about this in 2013. Well, we've come leaps and bounds. Next year will be the 10-year anniversary of that, but also it's going to be confiscation central. A couple fundamental things have to happen. First, the midterms in the United States have to happen, okay? They're already stacking the deck. They are already, now I'm a master of sleight of hand with the deck of cards. Unfortunately, these politicians are masters of sleight of hands with politics. They're already stacking the deck and they're working on winning the midterms. When they win the midterms, they're gonna usher in something new, and the rest of the countries are going to fall behind. Now, there's countries already ahead, like Germany and some of these other countries, that are already trying to get a ledger of what everyone owns. But structuring yourself, they're already taking stock of who's buying hardware wallets. They're already taking stock of what crypto you have in centralized exchanges. Why I talk about becoming a ghost and not dealing and partaking in all this. Okay? Because the fact is, if you don't have everything in a ghost business, if you have your name on your crypto exchange, you're being stalked right now. If you've ever had it in there, and here's what I want you to understand. You have an on-ramp and an off-ramp. So if your on-ramp and off-ramp is not anonymous, you are being tracked. You may think, well, I put 10,000 into crypto and I took from my bank and I went to some anonymous exchange. They tracked it from the beginning. This is what you don't understand because you started as you. It's why you need to restructure and push the reset button and become a ghost before Web3 goes into effect. It is vital because if you don't, well, then they're going to follow it around and eventually they're going to say, you owe us this amount. And you could say, well, I lost it. They're going to say, we don't care. Then find it. Get it now because you owe it to us. Otherwise, we got a nice cushy prison cell for you. They're not going to mess around. The same thing they did with the gold and the same thing they did multiple times throughout history. They are going to confiscate this because the wealth is going into crypto. Why is the wealth going into crypto? Well, let me tell you a little story about the world reserve currency. We are now taking 95 billion a month off of our balance sheet to try to go deflation. We are not going to have a soft landing. You saw interest rates, did you not? If you bought a $400,000 house in January of this year, let's say the payment at 2.75 would be just over 2 grand. It's almost exactly 3 grand right now with the new interest rates. You're paying about on average 650 to 800 depending upon your insurance and your taxes, because each state's a little bit different. So for the exact same house, the exact same price, 3 months later, you're paying $600 to $800 per month. Okay, that's, I don't know, 6 to 10,000 per year more for the exact same house, and all of that money is going to interest. And that was the first major hike. We are doing 6 more. When I was a kid, interest rates were between 10 and 15%. Okay, but houses were substantially cheaper. Now, with the overinflated house prices and the overinflated interest prices and the under wages with the mass resignation and the 1099s going through the roof, which puts a massive tax burden and a massive weight on the shoulders of this country, that is the reserve currency, and you look at the T-bills, which are basically worthless. You'd be an idiot to buy it at such low rate. What do you think is going to happen? It's all going to happen. The prices are going to come down. The mortgages are going to go up. The wages are going to get hit because the businesses are going to contract. Now, there's 2 havens. 2. There's actually 3, but one of them is a little bit of a gray area. The gray area is land. Raw land or real estate that produces income, not homes. A home is a liability, okay? It goes up and down in value based on an artificial market. Land, farmland, raw land, multifamily, so like apartments, even like duplexes. You can buy a whole floor of condos. That is an income stream. Gold and silver, so precious metals, and crypto. That's it. Now, I recommend buying gold and silver anonymously because they're starting to take ledger of who's buying gold and silver. They have been since 2014. But that's the least of your worries right now because really what they're going after is crypto. The Lightning. No, not the Bitcoin Lightning Network. Lightning Money. Now, the reason this is happening is the wanted for the forced consolidation for the central banks. The world central banks. You take the dollar and pivot. Now, that's not going to actually happen the way they want, so I recommend you watch when I put out my video on the new world reserve currency. It'll be coming out in a couple days. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. But starting to run the core assets through precious metal and crypto is what I would recommend 100% of you do. But don't do it in your own name. Become a ghost. Now, if you're already a ghost, you're set. If you're not already a ghost, if you don't already have a ghost business, ghost cards, if you haven't structured everything, check out the first link down below while you can. Well, I'll talk about some stuff in an upcoming video, but Privacy X, we've been helping as many people as possible. Unfortunately, our prices are going to go up again. Some of you saw that recently we had to raise our rates. Got to raise them again. I've been expanding my team here in Las Vegas and trying to help as many people as possible. We've been helping people worldwide, so no matter where you're in the world, we can help you. But keep in mind that this is changing rapidly. And there's a few other people who try to do what we do, and they do it for about 3 times the cost of what we do. Because we have such an amazing group of people on social media, we've been doing everything we can to help. We've also streamlined our process. We've also been working with a lot of companies to keep the costs down for you. But we can only do that for so long. So check out the first link down below while you still can if you want to become a ghost. Otherwise, they're going to start confiscating money. Now, the money's a guarantee. The bank runs are a guarantee. Okay, so if you haven't, well, can I keep my money in bank? Well, of course not. The bank run's a guarantee. I don't even have to say that in this video. Most idiots know that there's going to be a bank run. They just don't know what to do with their capital. I wouldn't keep any more money in the bank right now than you need for like 2-3 months worth of bills. Maximum. That's my opinion. You do whatever you want to do. But I wouldn't keep any more money than 2-3 months worth of bills. Are you going to lose your 401k? Yeah. Are you going to lose all of your assets that are pegged to the stock market or bonds? Yeah, because it's going to crash down to rubble. Now, Will you still technically have them? Yeah. Do I think they're going to push a reset? No, not right away. You'll have them, but they'll be worth 10% or 30% of what they're currently worth. So you're going to lose it all. So I hope you're young. If you're not young, you really need to start taking action, because otherwise you might not have enough time to rebuild. If you're in your 50s, even if you're in your 40s, you might not have enough time to rebuild. If you're in your 60s or 70s, I don't even know what to tell you. You better take action yesterday, because you're really going to be hurting. Now, the shakeup in the crypto market will be good, because for those of us in crypto, some coins are going to go to the moon. They're going to force that. So if you own coins that are untraceable, now again, the problem with Monero is they can trap you in a box. I love Monero, but the problem is they can trap it in a box and make it hard to use. The cool thing about using crypto that are more mainstream, even Bitcoin or ETH, through ghost businesses, is they're a lot harder to track. They're pretty much impossible unless they're targeting directly you, and they're going to try to chase you around the world with that, which they're not going to do. There's 100 million people using this stuff. So it's gotten way out of hand, which is why they're focusing on it. Now, it's going to be between mid to late actually probably, my prediction is probably early Q3 to early Q4. So right in that Q3 to Q4 2023, you will see all governments starting to confiscate crypto. Basically, they'll start with kind of like what they did with the old, you know what? They tried to bribe you. They tried to tell you how good you are. They tried to say better for humanity. They'll trade it in for bare minimum prices. Then they'll make threats. Then eventually they'll make it a crime. They're going to need this to fund this new operation, to bring in their unity and to usher that money into the banks, right? They want to get all the regulation structure for crypto, because then once they can regulate it in their own terms, then they can pivot it right into their controlled, centralized crypto. And that's what they want. That's why they're working with big tech, because what big tech wants to do is bring you into their metaverse. Now, I talked about in previous videos, the cool thing about Web3 is you could fork off as many times as you want. I said fork off as many times as you want. And so if you want to make something that is free and open and about privacy or about community, you can. But they want to tether you. It's kind of like right now you can make an incredible free speech social media, but people are so tethered to these useless big tech companies, the Facebooks, the Twitters, the Instagrams, that most of these free speech ones just fail. We can make it tomorrow, but people are such sheep. They're so laser focused on the worst of everything that they go to where the people are. They flock together. And that's the fear of the metaverse. They're going to do the same thing, and people are going to flock into the centralization, which is what these governments want to do. They're going to utilize crypto. That's the last piece of the pie. They want people to get on crypto. They just want to keep you tracked. They want you to get used to this digital money and the convenience. Then they can track it. They can merge it all together, and then you're in their system. And that's it. That's the whole story. I mean, this stuff is basically biblical at this point. You can look at, you know, what happens when it's put into your hand and you have your chip, and you have a merry little life there, don't you? So this is becoming a serious problem, and I recommend people start paying attention and taking action quickly, unless you want to fall into this. Crypto is incredible, but I wish more people understood that what crypto was supposed to be. Look at what crypto, don't take my word for it. Go read the original Bitcoin white paper. Have you ever read it? It's a work of art. Read the Bitcoin, the original documents about Bitcoin. Read the original documents. Read the original white paper even of Ethereum. Go read it. Go read the original documents about Bitcoin. Go read when it came out, what it was supposed to be. Learn about proof of work and proof of stake. Learn about these things. Learn how they work. Don't just follow the hype. Understand how Monero works. Understand how ring signatures work. Understand how the technology works. You don't have to be an engineer or a master coder to start understanding what it's supposed to be and start driving in that direction, because it's a thing of brilliance. But when big companies and big governments get a hold of it, they want to mold that brilliance to fit their narrative. I mean, the fact that they're saying this stuff out loud and there's not protests in the street is incredible. It's just incredible. But I guess people would rather just, you know, live under the rule of these dictators. And that's what they're going for, and that's what they're banking on, because that's what you've always done in the past. Anyway, appreciate you guys checking out this video. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. Putting out new videos all the time. Check out the first link down below. A lot of changes coming to Privacy X. We are going to be doing some exclusive content on my website. We've been setting this up for a while because I'm getting sick and tired of my videos getting taken down. Also, I'm having to self-censor because there's a lot of things I can't say, a lot of things I can't do, a lot of things that we know about, we study, we research, and then we just can't put on social media. And that's all social media. We recently have been putting stuff on Rumble. Rumble's not any better. It goes public. It's controlled by the same corporations. Rumble, Odyssey, YouTube, it's all the same. It's all the same at this point. So we're going to start putting some stuff exclusive on our website. That way we can start really adding value because there's a lot of things. I've said this to a handful of people, but my favorite saying is, hey, do you got any conspiracy theories? Because all my conspiracy theories came true. And I keep seeing people say that after what happened in 2020 and what continues to happen. So, you know, pay attention to what's going on in the world because a lot's changing and you need to take action quickly. That way you don't end up in one of these dire situations that are going to be, sadly, a lot of people. I mean, what happened in 2020 could never happen until it happened. Look what's happening right now in Ukraine. It's to say, I mean, and all the United States keeps saying is that's a war crime. It doesn't matter. Putin, nobody cares. The fact that the UN keeps getting up there and be like, we got a court. Nobody cares. I'm surprised Putin hasn't lobbed something right through their court at this point. I wouldn't be surprised if he starts lobbing things at Europe. In fact, Sweden and Finland are looking at joining NATO. That's how scared Sweden and Finland are looking at joining NATO. You think Putin's messing around? You think he'll hesitate for 1 second to end Europe? No. Putin can end Europe. The only reason he probably hasn't is because China still has his back. So really, it's the U.S. and he knows that's not going to work well for him if he goes after the U.S. But it's going to be bad for the U.S. and bad for Russia. But Russia versus Europe, that's a joke. Russia could destroy Europe if it was just if the U.S. stayed out of it. Oh, that'd be it. That'd be it. Be curtains for Europe, and that's the whole problem. Now, I don't want that. I don't think anybody wants that, except for maybe Putin and his circle. I think it's horrible. I think what Putin's doing is beyond horrible, but sitting here calling him a war criminal and sanctioning his daughters is not going to do it. And they are going to go after war money, which is Bitcoin. The left in the United States has already stated they will be going after this. It's not if, it's when, and it's coming very, very soon. So I would start preparing now before it's too late. Appreciate you guys checking this out. Have an amazing day. I'll see you guys in the next video.